Seemingly, every day you hear a new story about an entrepreneur in a garage that turned his company into a multi-million-dollar international success. Companies like eBay, Google, and TiVo are just a few of today's most talked about companies. In fact, entrepreneurs are the leading source of innovation and job growth in America today.
Entrepreneurs need space, tools, and community to get started. Well, you can do it on your own, but it's a whole lot easier if you're backstopped on operations and business services, as well as having a peer group of like-minded individuals who are in a similar stage of development.
Despite that, we all know people with the entrepreneurial spirit and a great idea who seem to struggle indefinitely, never quite making it out of the garage. What separates these stories? Is it the idea, the timing, or just luck? Most entrepreneurs launch their companies because of an idea they believe in and a passion to create something new.
It's really the excitement of being able to take something that you believe in, whether it's your idea or not, and implement it and see 20, 30, 40, 50 people clamoring around trying to make it work, watching customers use it, and seeing people pay for it. It's pretty neat.
Innovative entrepreneurs are inherently passionate about their technology, but it is business expertise that enables them to take the next step. In particular, technology entrepreneurs often start their company with a great deal of knowledge about their technology, but they know very little about how to turn it into a business. And the business of innovation isn't easy.
In the business of technology or another fast-moving domain, you can find yourself constantly working to stay up on the technology, the latest trends, the latest new ways to do things, and your business never gets attention.
Simply having a good idea is not enough. A high-tech startup must understand the strategies and tactics for building a successful business around their innovation.
It needs to be able to deliver the product, it needs to be able to market the product, it needs to have a strong management team, and particularly for earlier stage companies, they need to have a strong board and a really, really strong network of venture capitalists that can really take their business model and dump gas on it and take the fire from this high to this high.
Usually you have one person or two come together with an idea, and you really need a broad skill set to make sure that you cover legal, accounting, technology, financials, as well as being able to just run the business day to day.
Turning an innovation into a successful business requires real business skills, most importantly a focus on your intellectual assets. Oftentimes, the most difficult challenge for entrepreneurs is identifying what their core intellectual assets are.
It's anything that gives you a comparative advantage over someone else who does the same thing or a similar thing. So you can have a pizza shop or a bagel shop, right? The intellectual property in a bakery, as an example, is the recipe.
As a serial entrepreneur, author, and business consultant, Andre Carter is convinced that identifying intellectual property and then building its importance into your corporate culture from the beginning is at the root of a successful business.
You can't put a lock on it, so it requires a new paradigm. In this age, it's about information technology or intangible assets, brands, know-how, specific rights, routines, right? The ability to license something. Those are all the things that your value is based on.
In fact, small and medium-sized businesses are now riding the crest of a wave of innovation in this country and around the world, and their impact is substantial, especially when it comes to high-value patents.
Small businesses are leading industry and economic growth. I mean, most of the new jobs that have been created in this country in the last 5 years have been created by businesses that are less than 5 years old. So small businesses are the drivers of economic growth, they're the drivers of innovation because of the flexibility and the agility that they bring to the economy. So the very advantages of a small business is the fact that it's small and the fact that it can make a change quickly, invest quickly in a small area that a large company would be like a big ship trying to make a sea change, right? And so that agility is what allows them to be a real engine for innovation and employment.
Intellectual capital is the most important asset of a technology industry. But while protecting intellectual assets is important for large companies, it is critical for small ones.
As a small entity, the ability to have this kernel of complex knowledge and talent and know-how is the one thing that gives them an advantage, bargaining chip, and equal seat when they deal with large companies.
Entrepreneurs need to treat their knowledge like gold and take the steps necessary to protect it. They need to follow the paths of companies like Apple, Google, and Microsoft and establish a culture of intellectual property that helps them to identify, record, and potentially protect the assets they are creating.
Your organization has to view intellectual property as its lifeblood, which it is, because it's going to be 80 to 85% of your corporate value. The reason you'll get invested in, the reason you'll get sold, the reason people will license from you, the reason good people will come to work for you is your intellectual property. The better your organization is at capturing intellectual property and perfecting those rights, the stronger your organization and the better you do.
Small, innovative companies are driving innovation, and the future of innovation is being written by entrepreneurs. The Innovators Network is the first resource on the business of innovation.
So that's why we started the Innovators Network, to create a kind of a community of entrepreneurs and small businesses so they can get together with each other and with mentors to better understand the business that they're in and become better businessmen and business people.
Sponsored by the Association for Competitive Technology and other groups, the Innovators Network is a community of entrepreneurs that brings together beginners and seasoned veterans in a supportive environment to move beyond just having a great idea to putting together the pieces of a successful business. The goal is to give entrepreneurs cutting-edge business plans to go with their cutting-edge technologies. With regional events and an online community website, the Innovators Network gives entrepreneurs the ability to learn from and network with experts from around the world.
You need a way to productize that research and development. You need a way to take your ideas and your invention and your innovation and turn it into something you can put a bow onto and make it a part of something else. And so when you look at intellectual property, it becomes the facilitator for those things.
Intellectual capital is gold to today's technology entrepreneur. It is critical that small companies take the steps to both identify that value they are creating and protect it. For more information, call 888-539-8644 or visit innovators-network.org.